the vast ocean. A place where all sailors find their bounty, especially the folks around the sea marrow. Where there are plenty fish to catch, secrets to find, and mysteries to unravel, I welcome you all to the game of Dredge, where you, a lowly fisherman, go on to fight the ocean and its most perilous beasts, where madness is a bad sleep schedule away, and the crows will happily steal you, your fish, and any other items you have aboard. I guess we're in for quite a voyage. Well, no reason to stay here waiting. Let's dive right in to the game of Dredge. Let's start off with our basic premise, shall we? Dredge is a game developed by Black Salt Games and published by Team 17. It takes heavy inspiration from H.P. Lovecraft's work and most notably Call of Cthulhu. They even go to the lengths of starting you off in the 1920s, around the same time that the literature was made. The game reels you in with an interesting art style, simple fishing and sailing mechanics. That is until the sun drops over the horizon and you find yourself at the very mercy of the abyss. That is the exact moment that you understand something else is out here on the waves. You see, this game has a light horror aspect to it, and it will give you a good jump if you're not ready. Each area has its own tailored creature under the waves. From sneaking in between underwater caverns and lying in wait beneath the waves, each archipelago has its own new threat. Not to mention the fact that neither day or night, almost all these leviathans roam no matter what time it is. So don't expect any safe havens while fishing within their domains. Speaking of which, let's delve into the other big part of the gameplay, the fishing and the dredging. Here is where you make your living as a fisher on the high seas. The system that drives this is a little mini game that gets changed around depending on what fish you're reeling in. The dredging is a similar part to it too, but it has a few changes on it. You should be able to see how they work in the background footage that I have playing. Make sure you're paying attention while working on these mini games, or else you might be fishing for longer than it would have taken if you just let it reel in on its own. Now after your little excursion onto the ocean and less than desirable run-in with the Leviathan from the deep, you finally get to sell your bounty. And here is where the game will let you roam far from the islands in the center. You'll meet a curious figure who will request your assistance on a job of his, and you, being the oh-so-naive sailor, shall oblige. Right here is exactly where everything goes into a full open world. You're free to sail the high seas and discover at will, but this is also where the game finds itself in an odd position. Here is where I would like to speak about the beauty and confusion of the game Dredge. Pretty early on, you as the player will notice that the quiet and calm days are strongly contrasted by the panic and stress-inducing nights. The towns and people are a bit of a stark contrast from the eldritch horrors you find while sailing. For most of your time playing, you will be riding amongst the waves and find yourself in many interesting areas and interactions. A good bit of them will have little explanation, but I guess that is one part of the game that's more of a feature than an oversight. For example, there is a massive cruise liner that is split in half in the tropical section of the map, and we can only infer that it was probably destroyed by the monster in that area. What I'm saying is that this game has a different way of telling its story. It seems a bit aimless at times. Let's set up an example here. During your playthrough, you'll hear that going to another town is a good start for you, and you can go across the map and go on a completely and totally different part of the story, and possibly come back over-prepared. The position we take in this sort of odyssey is one of the middleman, where we rarely see the end of our work, or understand why we're doing what we're doing. We help a cultist do a ritual with no clear end goal after it's finished. We help a researcher in the tropical islands study local marine life. For what, I'm not completely sure. But we get another piece of the mysterious man's puzzle by the end of it. The more clear jobs that we have to do are with the brothers and the pilot. Both have pretty clear end goals, but beyond those two storylines we find ourselves pretty lost on some jobs. Transporting mysterious cargo, fishing up aberrations from the depths, or our main objective, finding all the items that the mysterious man asks of us. Even at the end of the game, we are left with more questions than answers, for it is here we awaken the Great Old One. And for what reason, we can only speculate. In this game, we gain far more questions than answers. From meeting a mysterious lighthouse keeper to bringing forth some unfathomable rapture, and all for what exactly? In the end, it seems that this game wishes to play its cards so close to its chest, it only wishes to show them once needed. Never when we want easy answers. Hello, this is me from after filming the background footage. I booted up my continuation save to get some background footage for this video, but apparently the game had some more content for me to discover. I thought it was going to clear up what the game's first ending meant, but no. I'm even more curious now. Our own character with this new ending is completely shrouded in mystery. Before, they were just the vessel that you used to play the game, but now they have a story as well. But this reinforces what I had said before. The game doesn't like answering questions. It only seems to revel in that speculation that we all have. Anyway, let's get ourselves back into the video, shall we? The other aspect of this game that coincides with its confusion is both its visuals and music. The main menu track starts us off with a sense of misery and light dread. Whatever you're searching for out here will not give you a clear answer, nor will it probably be what you're hoping to find either. It is the song that we begin the perilous journey into the ocean, and no voyage could begin with a more beautiful sunrise as well. We leave the docks in an early morning, and with that we gain a grand and ever so remarkable view. The visuals of the game are very beautiful. They actively go for an original art style of their own. Yet I feel like I've seen this type of style before, but I cannot put my finger on it. But I do not see it as an issue. The darker and more rough part of the art gives a more gritty sense of uncleanliness. Many fish you pull from the depths seem quite dirty and disgusting, so the visuals fit quite perfectly with that. The opposite side of the coin is the bright and more vibrant locations. Every place you explore will have a separate design from the other islands, all boasting their own landscapes and explorable areas. Not to mention the islands dotted around that are special in their own ways. Going back to the music, the entire OST was composed by David Mason, who did a splendid job at creating mysterious atmosphere and driving home that sailor feel. Personally, I feel that the Traveler songs are the best of the entire soundtrack. I love them all, especially the Shivering Traveler from the Pale Reach DLC. Each of the Traveler songs strongly reel in that feeling of downtime from the ocean, where a sailor can take a rest. I guess you could attribute them to more of an instrumental sea shanty. The waltz-like style of music creates a sense of a rocking ship, and along with that, the personality of a captain aboard said vessel. It cannot be understated how well each track works for the setting or the scene no matter where you are in the game. From trading your hard-earned bounties to running from the madness that lies beneath the waves, you will know what you're in for if you just take a moment to listen. Well folks, there you go. The confusingly beautiful game of Dredge. Now I skipped over plenty of things in this video, but I'm not doing a full game review right now. Just having some fun talking about how this game tells its story and how the art style and music complements that. I hope my writing isn't all too confusing. I have a really hard time staying on track while doing so. I really wish I could speak a little bit more about the music, but alas, I gotta watch myself in presenting such topics. Also, I should say this is the second video of the channel. I'm still workshopping how I should write the videos and edit them, but expect more topics, most likely relating to games, probably coming within the next few weeks. Well, if you stayed this long, thank you very much. I never thought I'd say this, but subscribe for more. But I shall deliver more content like this. Anyways, less yapping from me. Thank you once more, and please, stay tuned.